Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Steve the Breach coming to you here today. We are out on the road today. It is pouring in Sacramento, California, and we're going to Arby's. Today, I saw a story tweeted out by NoDQ.com that the WWE Network was sending out emails to their subscribers, I guess in countries that still are able to subscribe to the WWE Network. I'm not sure if it's somewhere overseas. WWE Network here in the United States was swallowed up by Peacock a couple of years ago. I remember I was working in Placerville. I can't really remember when that was, but it was a few years ago. And I know Canada, I think, is done by their cable company, because you have to subscribe to like a channel and you actually get a live feed. I think that's the way it is for a lot of people overseas or not. But January 1st, Netflix will be swallowing up the WWE Network and taking it over. I'm guessing that everything is going to basically be run on demand. And Monday Night Raw will get a live feed, a lot like what the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul feed was when you first log in. I wonder what the worldwide appeal of, like, somebody who just goes on there to watch, rom-com documentaries or things like that, and they have WWE basically shoved in their face every Monday. I'm sure it's the same thing when people, were signing up to watch The Office on Peacock, and they're basically being like, hey, you want to watch Hell in the Cell? And somebody's like, I don't even know what Hell in the Cell is. Why is there this WWE logo in my face here? I'll tell you this much. I can remember coming home from work and getting onto a Skype call with my friends somewhere around 2012. I don't really remember what pay-per-view it was, but basically when I asked them how the WWE pay-per-view was that night, I was greeted with that there was going to be a WWE Network and it was going to launch sometime the next year. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There was no description of what the WWE Network was. They didn't basically say that it was going to be its own kind of Netflix deal. We didn't know if it was going to be like a channel like ESPN, Comedy Central, A&E that was going to be on cable, but our minds raced of what honestly it could be. I will tell you the truth. If you don't remember, if you weren't old enough, if you weren't a wrestling fan at the time, I believe it was 2013, right after the Elimination Chamber, the next day, it went live in February with the promise that we were going to get every wrestling pay-per-view for free. Yeah, it cost $10 a month, but we were not going to have to pay, I believe, $40 to $50 after tax each and every month if we wanted to follow along with the WWE product. So many times, you either paid your own money or you suckered your parents into buying a WWE pay-per-view, and it did not live up to what you thought it was going to be, and you felt burned. You didn't even have the cable bill in your hand, but you felt like the money in your wallet was just burned up. The day that the network launched, there was so much stuff on the WWE Network. I remember I signed up on my work at work on my lunch, and once I got in there, it was kind of like, okay, now what do I do? I went back and I ended up watching the beginning of WCW Bash to the Beach in 1996. I watched an hour of the show. I thought it was so cool that I didn't have to, put in a WCW VHS tape from back in the day. I didn't get to the point where Hulk Hogan turned in the main event, but it was awesome. I remember, you know, coming home from work that day, putting on the live stream to basically see what the stream was. And I was watching like old, like, I don't even know what year it was, 1993, 1994, ECW. And I remember the thought popping in my head, this is something that I would never put on. And I will tell you that the WWE Network, in the WWE Network years before Peacock, they cared. They didn't put out like contracted specials where they had to put out a documentary every year. I mean, they had shows, and the shows were awesome. I don't care what anybody has to say. Legends House in 2013 was appointment viewing. I don't remember what day of the week it was on, but I know that I came home from work and I put that sucker on. I can't remember if I was using illegal streams at the time or if I actually had cable in 2013. Things were pretty tight, I'll tell you the truth, around my house. I had Netflix, I had Hulu for sure, and then when I got WWE Network, I knew that when I got home, I was going to have something to watch each and every night. Table for Three, Chronicles, you know, the kind of like specials, the 24/7. I think one was called 365, where they followed somebody for an entire year. Those were really, really cool. The fact that somebody that was new getting into wrestling, I mean, at the time, you know, making videos, one of the things that really got me noticed was having a WWE DVD collection. And knowing that somebody could, you know, be following along with the history of wrestling and not having to spend hundreds to thousands of dollars to purchase old school wrestling DVDs in order to see them, not have to watch something that was, the file was shrunk down so many times to make it fit on YouTube. Because of the fact they needed it to be smaller, or they needed the image to be flipped so it wouldn't be copyrighted or things like that. And I'll give you this much. YouTube has gotten a lot looser. It's almost like with a lot of things, they kind of look the other way. But I'll tell you this, I thought I was going to be able to turn out this way. I'll tell you this much. Like, I feel like WWE cares more about their WWE Vault YouTube channel than they do putting anything up on Peacock. Other than a pay-per-view that comes around once a month, or an NXT special that pops up, I really do appreciate them being there for that. But the last thing that they put up that I was like, dude, we gotta watch this, was a long time away. Netflix acquiring the WWE Network. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that it is better than it was today. The fact that WWE Network is sending out emails basically saying that the WWE Network is closing as of January 1st scares me, to the fact that I think that they're just going to upload things to Netflix, or give Netflix files to upload for them, and we'll have the WCW, the ECW, the WWE, you know, catalog of things that we want to watch on there anytime. It scares me to the fact of, like, I don't know when we're going to get new specials of things that used to be DVD related, like a documentary or something like that, that is going to be really, really cool. And, you know, glad that we have the network. As long as Raw's on there, who knows where the pay-per-views are going to go. Or we're gonna have to sign up for ESPN Plus and do it the way that UFC does, where we have to pay $50 for every show each and every time. I'll tell you that much. I was doing it for AEW each and every show, almost no matter what, when they only had 4 shows a year. But now that they've branched out and had more and more shows, I get more selective over which ones I actually want to sign up for and which ones I want. So we'll have to see. But network closing down honestly is crazy.